Hey Shinobi, welcome back to your Ninja Academy. Today we are going to go through the theory that Naruto will absorb Baijia's power to revive Kurama. If you would like to see more about Naruto in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our Ninja Academy. And well guys, seeing the end of Kurama wasn't easy for anyone. Seeing this character we've been following since the first episode and the first chapter of the Naruto manga was really sad. And the worst of all is that it didn't even give them the right time, Naruto and Kurama, to say goodbye properly. Not even the famous flashbacks that Naruto loves to put to extend the scene and give us more emotion, or anger, didn't happen. It was just a quick goodbye and Kurama warning that Naruto now had to be careful because he wouldn't be like before. Yes, I believe that the anime can change that, put more scenes and that very sad soundtrack to make any of us shed that tear. But what if this short and emotionless farewell was on purpose? What if Kishimoto didn't really give too many details and didn't put some memories at that moment because he knows it's not the end yet? What I mean is, what if Kurama comes back, and all we saw was just Kurama's scene just to fool us? How would Kurama return? She herself said that her chakra was totally exhausted in Naruto. That is, there is no longer any source of chakra where Kurama could return like the other Baiju do. Well, that's true, but that's what Kurama said. And as we know, she lied about Naruto having to lose his life when in fact it was her. And more, there is a possibility of having some fraction of Kurama's chakra in others places that could make Naruto bring her back. You want to know how? Well, stay until the end of the video because today I'm going to explain how Kurama is fooling everyone and how she is coming back. Okay, and well guys, speaking first of how Kurama can be deceiving everyone is for a very simple factor. She already deceived us in the fight of Naruto against Ishiki where it was she who would actually lose her life and not Naruto. And yes, I know that was for Naruto's sake. After all, he was totally willing to give his life in exchange for the good of the village and the shinobi world as a whole, but still Kurama could have said or mentioned this skill a long time ago. And again, I know that a good argument for this is that Kishimoto took the Baryon mode out of nothing. In fact, I believe that's it. But we know that in the script of a manga, powers, abilities, and facts can be inserted from the complete nothing and then just give a logical explanation for it later. A case of this is Itaki himself. Many believe that Itaki was in fact a villain who just wanted to measure his powers, and if you understand between the lines it makes perfect sense, but as he ended up becoming a very loved and hyped character, Kishimoto may have changed his past, giving that he has an aura of a misunderstood hero. But none of that changes the fact that he annihilated his entire family, without leaving people that didn't know about the coup alive, children, women and the elderly. That is, whether you like it or not, it's still strange to think that Itaki is in fact a hero. So the same thing can happen here. Kodaki, who was the one who was writing Boruto before Kishimoto returned to the reins of his own work, maybe had the desire to end Naruto and Sasuke to finally make room for the new generation. But the Kishimoto may have changed that by giving Naruto Baryon mode, causing him to end Ishiki's lifespan, causing Kawaki to just finish the job. So it may be that one day Kurama, if she comes back, will reveal to us why she hid this ability for a long time, making sense of her omitting this truth from us, like what happened with the truth about Itaki. But why would she lie? Well, maybe Kurama needs to have an important meeting with someone from the past. Yes guys, we're talking about Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Since she herself tells Naruto not to rush because he would join her, and it is also a fact that Hagoromo is still on the other plane today, since at the end of the war he tells Kakashi himself that he would talk to Obito in the other world, and we also saw how Rin Nohara was all this time in the other world waiting for Kakashi and Obito. In other words, the other world in Naruto opens the door for Kurama to return and explains why she lied. It may seem like a wild shot, but Kurama may have given up her life because she would need to meet Hagoromo. And for what? Well, that answer is simple. To ask him for more power, since she knows that only she could return again. I really see Kishimoto really giving this explanation, because he simply made it clear that this was possible. We saw how Obito managed to evade death and come to Kakashi for the simple fact that Kakashi had already used his Sharingan. That is, the chakra bond caused Obito from the other world to come and give that power to Kakashi. And Obito himself says that what connects the two worlds is the chakra. And here comes the answer of how Kurama would return and where any possible fraction of her chakra on Earth resides, and the answer to that is the other Baijus. Yes guys, Kurama's sisters share with her their mind and feelings. In addition, they were born from the same place as the god tree that was later consumed by Kaguya. That means, when Naruto became the meeting point for all the Baijus, he basically became the jinchuuriki of all of them. Sasuke and Hagoromo himself make that very clear, and that if they wanted, they could communicate through him since they were all connected to it. But guys, if they were all connected to him, and they are all mentally connected to each other by chakra and by the mind, then it is reasonable to imagine that even if each one does have its own chakra scripture that is defined by the amount of tails, each of them are still parts of a whole. And just to remember, Madara himself says this to Kurama when he captures it for the first time. He says that Kurama was nothing more than a part of something bigger, and that it was just a node of another being, that is, they, despite of everything, and Kurama liking it at the time or not, Madara was not wrong. They are a part of a single being. name, which is the Juubi, and after the war, it became Naruto. In theory, the chakra of all are intertwined with one another. And again, if Kishimoto took the Baryon mode out of nothing, I wouldn't doubt him at all giving this explanation to bring Kurama back. So to finish, Naruto would simply need to connect with all the baijus to be able to unite as much chakra as possible that has a connection with Kurama, and that would be the perfect bridge for Kurama to return. Either the way they always come back, or using the same method that Obito and Hag Oromo himself used to materialize and give their powers to Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke. But some of you might be thinking that such a power is not necessary anymore, but I must remind you guys that code is very powerful. But if Naruto manages to absorb a power equivalent to the Juubi, is not just because code said that he can defeat Naruto and Sasuke means that it will be easy. Both are still very powerful, and there would still be the other cages and quite possibly some very powerful ninjas like Kakashi, Sakura, and so on. Of course, some lives could be lost in this battle, and yes, it's a very risky strategy since code would be waiting for them on account of Ida. Not to mention little Damon. Yes, remember Ida's little brother, who seems to be pretty strong too. But this is how ninjas fight, guys. The risk is great, but if this is the only way, then it will be done. Who doesn't remember when Jiraiya went to face pain? The risk was huge, and both he and the Hokage at the time, Tsunade, knew that this could be Jiraiya's last fight, and it was. But this sacrifice opened a gap for the Leaf Ninjas and Naruto to later defeat the most powerful member of the organization so far. And if we're talking about sacrifice, well, Naruto himself was ready to give his life using Baryon mode, but Kurama tricked him by saying that he would lose his life when in fact she was the one who ended up leaving this for the better. But it doesn't change the fact that Naruto basically gave himself up to beat his Hiki, and there's still Sasuke got. He himself already told Boruto that both he and Naruto were ready to give their lives in this and any fight if it was for the benefit of the village and humanity. So to hold the code while Naruto absorbed the Juubi, both, they would have to get time. In any case, for code and the next enemies, this power may be necessary. But the fact is that we might have an epic return soon. As everyone knows that Kurama is one of the most loved character in Naruto series, I'm pretty sure that some of you guys are missing Kurama as I am. I'm really excited with the possibility of his return, but what do you ninjas think about it? I have read some comments saying that Kurama was sacrificed just to make Naruto less stronger than before, because this way Naruto would not supposed to still saving Konoha every time. And they also say that Sasuke had lose his Rinnegan for the same reason. I don't know if you guys agree or not with those comments, but I'm just here to share with you some interest theory. Anyway, I think that everyone knows that Naruto and Sasuke still much stronger than other Konoha's ninjas, but are they still supposed to fight alone against the enemies? Please let me know your thoughts about this. And so folks, I'm not saying anything except that I see a path to Kurama's return, since we didn't have an exciting end for her, and as Kishimoto left this path open in the past, I wouldn't doubt anything that he would use it to bring her back. Well, that's what I think Kishimoto can do, but what about you? How do you think Kurama will return? Of course, if she's really going to return, comment down below your thought. If you guys enjoyed this overview on the matter, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to ring the bell to not miss out on any new content uploaded to this channel.